Hi, today we will discuss about code of ethics. Code in general refers to the set of rules and regulations to be followed in our profession. Here we will discuss about what is actually code of ethics, what are its roles and functions, and what are its limitations. Let us see one by one. As I said, codes are the set of laws and standards. It provides a framework for ethical judgment for a professional. Suppose we are working somewhere and we are in a situation to take some decision. These codes will provide us a framework like process to be followed. What are the things to do and not to do? Those kind of things will be there in the code of ethics, and it defines the roles and responsibilities of professionals. By default it will be there. For students, if you say for example, when you join in your school or in college, you will be given with the student handbook that may be called as code of ethics for that particular profession. Like that, an appointment order. Not only that, these are some kind of codes that I'm giving some real examples. And this code has to be adopted by the engineering societies as well as by engineers. And these codes will exhibit the rights, duties, and obligations of the members of a particular profession. Next, roles of the codes and its functions. There are some 7. The first one is inspiration and guidance, support, deterrence and discipline, education and mutual understanding, contributing to the profession's public image, protecting the status quo, promoting business interest. Let us see one by one. These are the actually roles and functions of codes. First, inspiration and guidance. This code of ethics provides some positive motivation for the ethical conduct, and it guides in a very positive way for all the professionals. By default, if you look at any code, it will be focusing mainly on the positive side. These codes will be very brief and it offer only some general guidance based upon the particular society or based upon this working environment. Some kind of statements can be added to give some specific directions. It depends on the particular body that creates the code. Let us see some examples of engineering societies who have published code of ethics. AAES, that is American Association of Engineering Societies. ABET, Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. For your information, I think you all are aware of the fact that we are going for NBA, that is National Board of Accreditation, that is for engineering and technology institutes in India. And this one, ABET, Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology, is for international accreditation. Even some universities in India have got this ABET accreditation. National Society for Professional Engineers, IEEE, as you are very much aware of this one, and AICTE. All these organizations have published their own code of ethics. Not only this, several technological companies have also published their own codes, and these codes are helpful to strengthen the moral issues of any professional. Whenever I have some doubt, I have to look at the codes. That will provide a solution for me, because most of the thing it will be like inspiring. It will most of the time it will motivate in a positive way. This is about inspiration and guidance. The second one is support. These codes gives a positive support to anyone who seeks it to act ethically. Suppose in your work environment, under pressure, if you are supposed to do some unethical things, you can use these code of ethics as a support for you to stand in your moral issues. And these codes will support the profession in legal ways also. Say for example, in your handbook something is there, you can claim that, then why it has been mentioned here. Like that, these codes of ethics will help you, will support you to stay or to stand or to act in moral ways, and it will support you in legal ways also. The third one is deterrence and discipline. These codes can be used as a basis for conducting investigations if someone goes in unethical way. That is what deterrence, the limitations and discipline. It also provides a deterrent for engineers to act immorally. That is what the limitations it imposes on the professionals to act immorally. If punished, any professional working in an organization, if proven by his unethical behavior, that particular society can revoke the rights of that particular professional as an engineer. It will also result in the loss of respect, not only from his fellow workers but also among the public. So these kinds of things are also possible, and these kind of things will also be mentioned in the code of ethics. The fourth one is education and mutual understanding. See, we are in this track actually. In your education process, we have included this. So you will come across all these things during your course. Yes, I learned codes, and after learned, it should reflect on your work. Thereby, we can improve the understanding of moral responsibilities among all the engineers, among public, among organizations. The next one is contributing to profession's public image. Whether you are acting morally or not, these set of codes, if someone views it, they will come to know, oh, this profession, this particular engineering profession is an ethically committed one. It serves for the public. Like that, it will create an image in the public supporting that particular profession. The next one is protecting status quo. These codes establish some ethical conventions which can help promote an agreed upon minimum level of ethical conduct, which means what is the actual existing affairs among in social, and that social affairs will get support or will get protected by these codes. The last one is promoting business interest. Codes can play unwarranted restraints of commerce on business dealings. Say for example, we all have used Amazon.in for shopping, and whenever you do shopping over there, you can see some codes like rules and regulations. When you buy this, you can return in 30 days, you can claim your refund. If it is mentioned there, you will get that for sure. In that way, it will promote the business interest of the organization. And this is all about the roles of codes and its functions. The last one is limitations of the code of ethics. First itself, we have to agree that the codes will be general and it will be vague, which means it will have everything. We will feel like tough to go through it. Then codes will often have internal conflicts. Some point written in somewhere will act as a conflict to some point in some other place. So this will result in conflicts. And the most important thing is, just because this code exists, it cannot be treated as the final moral authority. Things may happen beyond the codes also. In that case, this particular, if it is not existing in the code of ethics, it should not be treated as the final one. Whatever the situation, that has to be analyzed. We should not depend always on the codes. And this is a very common one. Only a very few professions or very few engineers will be the members of that particular societies. So they cannot be compelled to abide by their codes. It should be everyone to participate. Since it is not there, we cannot push or force only those who are in that society to follow their codes. And most common one is, even members of that society will not be aware of the existence of their codes. Even most of them will never used to go through it. This is very common among everywhere. And codes can be reproduced in a very rapid manner. Suppose I want to establish code for some organization or for some society. The first thing what we will do, I will check for the same set of codes for that for some relevant organization. If it exists, what we will try to do, we will try to copy the maximum from that, and we will try to change only where we want to change it. We will not start producing it from the scratch. We will reproduce it from the existing one. And the last one is, these codes are said to be coercive. That is, it is supposed to be, or it is actually implemented by threat or force. But it should not be like that. Why? These codes, as we said, it should act as an inspiration and it should support us. So we should follow it on our own. It should not be implemented by force on any professionals. So these are the limitations of codes of ethics. So we started with what is code, what is code of ethics, what are its roles and functions, and what we ended with limitations of the code of ethics. In next class, we will discuss about a balanced outlook on law. Thank you.